Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Gabby. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Over here we talk about everything that involves our self, happiness, wholeness, wellness, and we do that with the Lord Jesus, okay? So today I want to talk to y'all about life-changing, beautiful benefits that you get from going on your healing and self-love journey. Okay, so this journey is many times hard, it's long, it takes a lot of work, it's tiring, and so many of us get exhausted with it, get sick of it. I know there have been times where I just felt so exhausted and I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I doing all this? Because you don't always see the benefits overnight. You don't always see the work that you put in as quickly as you want to. It really is sowing seed, and eventually you see the goodness of everything that you put in. Is it worth it? Yes, sis. Yes, bro. If it's any guys watching this video, yes, it's so worth it. So I'm gonna start off with the most obvious one. The first benefit of loving yourself is the fact that you actually love yourself. You actually love yourself, and when you love yourself like you love someone else. You know, so many of us pour so much love into other people. We pour so much service, we pour so much grace and just everything, so much advice. We really give ourselves to other people, regardless of who that is, regardless of what that is. People do that for items too, like their jobs or their cars or their shoes or their hair or their bags or whatever. People do that with their children, with their spouses, with their significant others. The way you love someone and that burning desire that you have for them, you have that for yourself, and in that it helps you develop self-discipline. So you have the discipline to do the things for yourself that you know you need to do for yourself that you may not want to do. It's the same thing like caring for people that you love, like my children. Baby, let me tell you, it be so many times where I be like, I don't feel like cooking right now. I don't feel like cooking tonight. But I still get up and go in that kitchen and cook something up for my children. Why? Because I love them and I want them to be fed. It's the same thing for you. So many times a bunch of us don't really feel like cooking, so we throw something in the air fryer real quick, or we go down the street to go to Popeyes or whatever, when no, you should cook a nice wholesome meal for yourself. Even if it is a time where you want to fry something up, that's always better than going out to buy it, you know. But if you're using wholesome ingredients that fuel your body in a better way, versus you not knowing what these people out here are putting in their food, it's just little things like that that add up to something so amazing. When you love yourself, you literally love yourself, and you treat yourself like somebody that you actually love. So many of us don't treat ourselves like we love ourselves, because we don't. So many of us barely even like ourselves. Like, can you imagine? Like, I was about to say, can you imagine? But a lot of us don't even have to imagine, because we know. We just haven't come to the full term. We haven't come to the full understanding and revelation and truth of the fact that we don't even like ourselves. Also, when you love yourself, you actually know what you want. You've had enough time to learn who you are, what you're about, and you know what you want. We're in this age where I think it's always been there, and people have always wondered and pondered about it, but with social media, I think it's become really big for people, probably since like 2022, for people to want to know what their purpose is. And first of all, I believe that our purpose is God-given, so you can only get that from Him. But you won't be anywhere close to knowing what your purpose is, or what your gift is, or what you're meant to be doing in life, if you don't know yourself. And you cannot know yourself without loving yourself. If somebody says that they know you and they don't love you, it's no way. It's no way, because when somebody loves you and you trust them, you can fully unlock your heart and your mind to them, and they get to know you. They ask you certain questions. They do certain things with you. They care for you in a certain way. Nobody's going to get to that root of you. Nobody's going to be able to get to that core of you if they don't love you, because it takes work. It's the same thing with yourself. If you don't love yourself enough to get to the root of yourself, to get to the core, you won't ever really know what you want. You won't ever really know what you like. You always going to be considering what other people say, what other people might think, or what happened in the past, or this person's situation. It's always going to be so much information coming in and going out that confuses you. Knowing yourself comes with knowing what you want. And you can't fully know what you want when you don't love yourself, because I said in one of my previous videos before that the whole you and the broken you want two totally different things. And when you get to a point of true self-love, that's when you start feeling the benefits of the healing. That's when you start to feel whole, because regardless of what you look like or what you've been through, you still love yourself. What? There's so many people out there who struggle to get to that point. So for you to even get there, that's an accomplishment. And when you get there, you know what you want. The things that you want when you're broken, the things that you want when you're hurt, the things that you want when you're hating on yourself, when you don't love yourself. You do not want those things when you love yourself. Many times when you heal and you're whole and you look back and you think about some of the things that you want, ooh, it be so atrocious. It be sad. It be pitiful. So this is one of the biggest benefits that you get, that I have loved so much to have had. These are things that money cannot buy. The next benefit is that you actually respect yourself. You respect yourself and you respect your body. When I came into this place of self-love, like when it really started developing in me, and I started looking back on all the things that I've said to myself about myself, the things that I've allowed people to do in my life or to do to me, I was disgusted, like appalled, like wow, you know, it goes to show how much we care more about what other people think of us. It goes to show how much more we care about someone else loving us or even seeming like they love us. We allow people to move in and out of our lives the way they want to, in ways that benefit them. We do things that we know in our heart, in our spirit, that we don't want to do, but we do them because we want to get something out of it. At the end of the day, we all want to be loved. We all want to feel accepted. All of these kids that get into things that aren't good for them, like gangs and things like that, they want that community. They want that love. People want to be accepted. And when you want to be accepted, you will accept anything from anybody when you don't love yourself. When you love yourself, you're not going to deal with all that mess. You respect yourself and you respect your body. You're going to know when to say no. Whether it's because you need to say no or because you just want to say no. You cannot get to where you really want to get in life, where God is have you going, if you don't respect yourself. You're just going to get stomped over and chewed and spit out every time you turn around. Like these women who are constantly in relationships where they keep dealing with the same type of guys over and over again. Trust me, I know so many of us have been there. It's because you don't respect yourself. And guys, whether they realize that or not, take advantage of that. Sometimes they take advantage and they don't even realize that's what they're doing. It's just the way that you present yourself, and when they respond a certain way, it works. You know? So you don't settle for less. It's not even a thought. It's not even a thought. You know what you want. You know what your boundaries are. You know what your limitations are. You know what your standards are. And if you see anything less than, you don't even got to be snooty about it to push it off. You just know, that's not for me. This is not working. And you keep it pushing, just like that. And next, people gravitate towards you. When you love yourself, people gravitate to you. Let me tell y'all something. I decided last year, I think it was November, I got so sick of how I was looking at myself and treating myself. And I literally woke up one morning and was like, I'm done. I'm done waiting until certain things happen, until my body does certain things for me to proclaim that I love myself. I love myself. I love me. I love every part of me. The way I look, the way I sound, my mind, body, like all of that. I accepted all of me. The way God accepts all of me, I accepted all of me that day. And I journaled that day because that's how big it felt inside. and I started to dress my body accordingly. You know, sometimes we buy jeans and we be like, ooh, these fit nice, but they're gonna fit even better when I lose 10 pounds. Or we be like, ooh, I can't wait to buy that shirt when I get such and such and such. And like, no, I stopped doing all of that. I went shopping that very day and bought clothes that fit. I know that sounds ridiculous, but so many of us buy clothes that don't fit. We buy clothes that almost fit, or clothes that will fit even better when we drop those couple of pounds we want to drop. I went and got some clothes. I felt good, and since then I tell myself often, y'all, I tell myself so frequently how I feel about myself. Sometimes I say it out loud, but a lot of times I'm in the mirror, I just walk by and I'm like, you are gorgeous, you are so beautiful, you are so beautiful. And I just stare at myself. I just look at myself, and a lot of these things I say to myself, nobody has ever said to me before. Nobody's ever called me gorgeous, but I'm gorgeous, okay? So I'm gonna tell myself that every moment I feel like I want to say that to myself. I don't ever tell myself I look ugly, and that's what I used to do. And so many of us do that as women, especially, you know, when certain times of the month come, you know, hormonal things happen, our skin, you know, take effect, and we feel a certain way. We be like, oh, I feel ugly today, and that's legitimate. I've definitely had so many times where I felt like that. But even if I do feel like that now, I'm not gonna say that out of my mouth. Just because my body feels a certain way, or I'm perceiving myself a certain way, doesn't mean that it's true. So even if I do feel like I'm having those ugly moments, I still tell myself that I'm pretty. I still tell myself that I'm beautiful. I just pour so much love into myself. I talk, girl, you have a beautiful spirit. Your light is amazing, and I love you, girl. I love you. And let me tell you, yesterday I went for a walk, and I went with one of my friends. That's mostly what we do together. Like, we go for walks. We were walking like this straight way, and there was two men. They look like landscaping guys, and she's very open, communicative, friendly. That's something I value in her. She's a person who will say hello to any and everybody, a stranger on the road. That's something I'm still working on. So she usually speaks every time. So the two guys were just kind of standing there behind a, you know, white worker's truck, and she was like, good morning, and I didn't say anything, because a lot of times, like, if she speaks, I just be like, yeah, she spoke for both of us. You know what I'm saying? So she spoke, and then we turned the corner. So we just kept walking, talking, doing our thing, and then we ended up coming up on a different street. And one of the landscaping guys, this black guy, he was sitting on the green box, like the electrical box. We were walking by, and as I was walking by, he was saying something. So I said, I'm sorry, what'd you say? Because his mouth was moving, but I didn't hear anything he said. And after I asked him what he said, like, in this very clear, passionate voice, you are beautiful as F. Y'all know I don't cuss. And my initial reaction, you would think, would be for me to feel honored, for me to be flattered, or something of that sort. But no, I was shocked that he said that to me. And I was about to say, who, you talking to me? But instead of saying that, I just smiled and I said, thank you. And he said, you are beautiful. Your hair is so beautiful. And I'm just floored at this point, because I'm like, he really meant that. He really meant that. How many times, ladies, has some dude called you pretty AF, bad AF, sexy AF? How many times? And in those times, like, you can feel good, but those are ways that men sexualize us, like they looking at us in a certain way. This man called me beautiful, and he said my hair was beautiful. So that's why I'm like, okay, he really meant what he said. And then it was the fact that he was talking to me. Now, the history of my life, you know, there's usually a pair of girls, a group of girls. I have never been that female who was the one out of the pair or the group that had guys looking at her. That was never me. That was never me. And over the course of time, you know, as a female, you start to think like, oh, am I ugly? Like, what's wrong with me? You know? as I got older, you know, in my mid-20s, I started thinking, you know, okay, Gabby, maybe it's just because you don't come off as a certain type of girl, and maybe that's why, you know, just trying to tell myself stuff to make myself feel better. And after a while, I just kind of got over it because I got used to it. So when he said that, I really was like, in my mind, maybe he talking about her, because she's beautiful too, like she's pretty too. But he was looking right at me, and it just made me think about how I viewed myself after all of those times, and how I viewed myself based on the perception that I did or did not get from guys. And let me tell you, last summer and beyond, if I were to get a comment like that, man, I would have been drowning in that thing. Like, I don't even know how to else to explain. I would have been goggling over that thing. And he was a very handsome guy. You know, he was slim, kind of tall. He was working. He had nice, beautiful long dreads, nice teeth. I mean, he was a nice looking guy. And I accepted the compliment, and you know, we just kept walking. Just kept going about our business. But it was really sticking with me though, because I'm like, how crazy is that? How crazy. Nobody has ever said anything to me like that, with that level of passion. But I talk to myself like that though, you know. I would have been head over heels for a comment like that. And though after the shock settled, I was flattered and thankful for him sharing what he thought of me, it didn't fill any empty space inside of me, you know, because I felt like he was just sharing something with me about myself that I already know. Like, I already know. I already know. And I say that in the most humble and loving way. That's just how I feel about me. So it didn't move me as much as it would have in the past, because I didn't think those things about me before. So loving yourself and talking to yourself in a certain type of way, when you see yourself a certain way, people see that too. If you see yourself unworthy of a good relationship, someone will sense that and feel that too and treat you crazy. If you feel that you're the most beautiful female in the world, someone will see the same thing and say those things right back to you. Like, people gravitate to you. He blessed me with that comment, but I'm already blessed the way I speak to myself. You know what I mean? It didn't make me feel like, ooh, none of that. It was just like, wow, thank you. I was able to accept it with so much grace because I knew. And not only stuff like that, people have been so nice to me. Like, people hold doors for me, people carrying my groceries for me, people are just complimenting my hair, complimenting me, telling me I'm beautiful, I'm pretty. Some lady at the gym last week was saying something to me, and I took my headphone out because I couldn't hear her. I said, I'm sorry, what'd you say? She said, you are so beautiful. I was like, thank you so much. She was like, yeah. I said, well, you have a beautiful day. She was like, yeah, you too. Like, she was really mesmerized by my beauty. Like, this older Caucasian lady, and like, looked like she was in her late 50s. You know what I'm saying? People are in the grocery store, ooh, you should try this product because it's so good, and you can spread it on your sandwiches, put it on your salads, like all of this extra stuff. People just talking to me, people just being so nice to me, and I'm like, look at God, because I'm just loving me. I'm just doing the inner work. I'm just praising God. And it's something going on to where people, I've never been treated like this in my life. Like, the way I've been treated in the past few months, I've never been treated like this. Like, I've gotten compliments and stuff like that. People comment on my hair and stuff like that. But it'll be like, more like, oh, I like your hair. Oh, I like you're pretty. But it just seems like more profound, and like, people are speaking from their heart and their soul when they say certain things to me. People are going out of their way, you know. I'm also allowing people to do things for me too. Normally, if somebody would have suggested, can I carry your groceries, can I hold the door, I was like, I got it, I got it, I got it. I was definitely a I got it type of person. But I wanted to sit back and rest a little bit. And honestly, especially when somebody asked to take my groceries, it was a store worker. But normally I would say no to stuff like that. But I'm like, you know what, he offered, so I'm gonna just let him do it. Stuff like that is still uncomfortable to me, but it's starting to get more normal, you know what I'm saying? But that's self-love. That's self-love. And people sense your self-love even if you don't even realize what the heck is going on. And the opposite of that is that people repel from you. There are people who don't like happy people. They don't like people who come off in a certain way, and they will remove themselves. They'll either not like you for what seems like no reason, or people that you used to be close with or cool with will eventually start to have problems with you, friction with you. Relationships will fall apart. That's one of the things many people will talk about when it comes to self-love and your self-love and healing journey. You will lose people, but it's not always a bad thing, and it's not always hard. Instead of you having to actively cut people off, which sometimes you do have to do that. In many situations, you don't even have to do that. People will naturally distance themselves from you to where you don't even have to worry about having a hard conversation or making things awkward or feeling uncomfortable. People are just going to sense something in you that doesn't reflect or align with them anymore, and they just going to gradually come off you, or something is going to come out that makes the situation so messed up that you just be like, nah, that wasn't even cool. Like, I'm done with this. You know what I mean? So don't see people falling away from you as a negative. It's a positive, because you should only want people around you who really down for you, who care for you, who love you anyway. It's a huge perk. It's a huge benefit. And the more you heal, the more you love yourself, the more you realize that as much as I do care about or love this person, they not good for me, and they not really riding with me anyway. So I'm gonna love myself enough to be calm and relax and let this person leave and do them. The next benefit in loving yourself is that you're actually interested in yourself. You want to know more about yourself. So with that comes trying new things. You want to try a new hobby. You want to try to wear something different. You just want to explore with yourself. You know what I'm saying? You are more interested in you and doing things with yourself. So many people are afraid to go out to eat by themselves, you know? And that's not something I've ever had a problem with. Like, I used to have friends that I was really cool with in high school, and sometimes they wouldn't come to school, so I would just sit down and eat lunch by myself. I remember this one time, this girl I knew, I was eating lunch by myself. She came over and sat with me and was like, yeah, I came to sit with you because I saw that you was sitting over here by yourself. And I was just like, oh. And I just kept eating because I wasn't even pressed about that. Like, I could understand why she felt bad, but there was nothing to feel bad about. But to me sitting down alone and eating, like me going to a restaurant eating, me going to a movie by myself, like I would do stuff like that. I'm just like, I'm just here for a mission. I'm here to eat my food. I'm here to watch this movie. That's it. You know, that's one thing. But when the self-love portion came in, it came to the enjoyment of it. Like, it's not just a task. I love sitting with people that I care about, and I love having a meal. But if I'm in a situation where I'm by myself, or I'm gonna go by myself, I enjoy sitting by myself. I enjoy going for a walk by myself. I enjoy watching something by myself. Like, I'm more interested in myself, and I don't feel so awkward in certain things when I'm doing them by myself. You know, there's certain situations where if you're alone, it's like you kind of look weird. But when you love yourself, you know it's all about you in that moment when you're by yourself, and the experiences that you're gonna obtain, the fun that you're about to have. It's like you become your own adventure, because you realize that there's so much inside of you and of you that you don't know about, and you get really interested in seeing what works for you, what doesn't, what looks good, what doesn't, what you're good at, what you enjoy. It's just a whole nother world, and you really get interested in exploring that with yourself. And then naturally, the next benefit is that you want to be better. You know, with all of the buzz going around becoming your best self and all of that, sometimes it can really sound like a chore. But when you love yourself, wanting to be better is just something that comes naturally. You don't have to try, you don't have to fight for it. It's something that you work towards every single day without a thought. You know, you put yourself out there in a certain way, or you go towards something that you never moved towards, or you do something that makes you feel a little uncomfortable, or do something that you don't really want to do but you know that's good for you and that you need to do because you love yourself. You do that stuff because you love yourself. You're not having to force yourself to be who you think you're supposed to be. And I mean, how many of us really know who we supposed to be? So many of us don't even know what we want for breakfast. Like, but when you love yourself, it just comes naturally, and naturally you do things that are good for you to ultimately, in the end, become closer to that version of a greater, better version of yourself. Another key thing that's a huge benefit that I know so many of us want so bad is to not care so much about what other people think, whether it's something that good that they say about you or not. When you pour goodness into yourself, when someone else pour goodness, it doesn't leave you flailing or crying for more from them, because you know you're already giving it to yourself. They're adding to you, they're not taking away. When you pour into yourself that way, you're not fiending to get that from someone, especially when they give you a little taste. You're not chasing after them for more. You already pour so much into yourself, whatever they give you is just a bonus. Now, I do think that there's a certain extent of caring about what other people think that's kind of natural. Like, we all kind of do it in subtle little things. But I mean, like, if you walk out of the house one day and you feel like you look good, you're not gonna care if nobody else thinks you look good. If you in the car and your song come on and you jamming it, nah, you just take a glance and you see somebody out their window looking at you, it might be like a but when you really love yourself, you like because this is my car, that I put gas in, this is my music, and I'm going like, get like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really don't dim yourself down because of other people around you, and you're not interested in doing that. You don't want to do that. Life is short, and when you love yourself, you really start to realize how little time we have on this earth to do what we want to do. It's like, not that long ago I was 10 years old. Not that long ago I was 18, you know? Not that long ago I was 24, but it really was that long ago though. It was really that long ago. But life just blinks by so fast. And when you love yourself, you realize that you don't have time to be making yourself submit to everybody else's opinions around you. Who cares? Like, you really develop that who cares mentality, but from a place of peace though. Not a place of aggravation and annoyance with people. More like you're just not bothered by it, which is true freedom. And next, one of the greatest benefits of loving yourself is that you become excited for life. You become excited about life. Because when you don't love yourself, your mind is going so many different places. You're worried and thinking about so many things. Most of the things that don't even matter or that you cannot control. Your mind is being controlled by everything around you. You have no inner peace. You don't like yourself, certain things about you. You don't love yourself. You're unhappy with the relationships around you, or even if the relationships around you are happy and healthy, you can't even experience them to the full because of how you feel about yourself. Same thing with your job. You may be in a job that you don't like, or even if you are in a job that you love, there's still so many factors going on within you and things going on in your mind to where you really just can't enjoy life when you don't love yourself. You just can't. It's the facts. Because you always thinking about yourself, and not in a good way. And when you love yourself, you don't have to worry about stuff like that anymore. You don't have to worry about how you think you look, or how you think you sound, or getting played, or somebody betraying you. You don't have to worry about all of that, because you are secure internally. You're good with yourself. And nobody can tear you down with their words, period. As hard as they might. It might pinch or hurt a little bit, but they're not going to win. So when you get rid of all of that junk out of your eyes and out of your head and out of your ears, you can actually really start to experience the life that you live in a positive way. You can really start to experience the world around you. How awesome and beautiful and great it is. Even in all the hard times, there's always something to be grateful for. As hard as things can get, there's still so much life for us to enjoy around us. If you're in a season of loneliness and there's no one around, that's the opportunity for you to get to know yourself, for you to get to know God and what he wants you to do in his life. There's always a positive spin. There's always something good, even in the storm. And even when things aren't hard and things are just normal, normal is not just normal. Stability is not just stability. It's extraordinary. Because now you at a baseline to where you can open your eyes and your heart to everything just because you love yourself. Ain't that wild? Just because you love yourself. And I'm gonna send y'all off with this one. One of the greatest, I'm gonna say the greatest benefit of loving yourself, of truly loving yourself, is that you get to know God. You get to know God, sis. You get to know God, bro. Because when you love yourself to the full, you love yourself like God loves you. You love yourself like Jesus loved his disciples, like he loved us. Jesus loved us so much that he died on the cross. He got tortured, crucified for us, for you. How much love is that? How many people you gonna do that for? He did that for you. The patience God has, the love, the grace, the way he forgives, you have all of that inside of you that you apply towards yourself. You don't talk to yourself crazy. You don't condemn yourself. You don't hold yourself to guilt. That doesn't mean you just let yourself do whatever you want to do. You tune into your conviction so that you can get right. You don't afflict yourself, but you make yourself self-aware enough of what you can do to get back on track. You keep yourself accountable the way God keeps us accountable. Even when things blow up in our face, we sit down and try to find a lesson. We can only love ourselves in this loving, gracious, amazing way when we know God. Because when you know God, that's when you really start to understand. When you know what God says about you, that he knows how many hairs that you have on your head, that your name is inscribed in the palm of his hand. Like when you know stuff like that, it will really open your mind to, wow, God loves me like that. Yeah. And then you learn to love yourself and feel those same ways about yourself. If I'm worthy enough by him to be loved like this, I can love myself like this, period. Investing in yourself is one of the greatest things that you can ever do. And some of the best investments that you can do for yourself, you can't buy with any amount of money. You have to do the work inside. And as much as you might want to put on your body, around your body, anything, anybody you want to brace your body with, it's not going to amount to the love that you have inside for yourself and that you can do for yourself. Keep on that love journey, or start that love journey, that healing journey, because it's going to be so worth it. It's going to be one of the best things you can ever do for yourself. That's it for today, y'all. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe and join the fam if you enjoyed this video. Comment below any other benefits that you know of from being on a self-love journey, a healing journey. Let us know. Give me the tea. That's it for now, y'all. I love y'all so much. And until the next one, and peace and love. I'm out.